Next Reddit question. I think I'm going to read it. Do these schools address all types of learners? So the basic question is, does Acton Academy work for all types of learners? Well, that's a hard one to answer because of how we look at learning and every child's learning journey. So every child has a different learning journey. Now, there are learning differences that are sometimes defined or diagnosed. Can someone with a diagnosis work at Acton? Well, the question usually is, will a person with a diagnosis work at Acton? Meaning, will they take ownership of their learning and work at Acton? One astounding example that we've had of a yes is one of our heroes. You can watch his final senior speech on our YouTube channel if you want to, and he talks about his learning differences. He has dyslexia, I guess, and possibly even ADHD, ADD. He'll tell you in his speech. Basically, he had diagnosed learning differences, but this learner developed an incredible desire to work hard and to work through that. So he would get on his dyslexia tutoring Zoom call, however often he did it, I don't even know. Whenever he had it, he would get on those calls faithfully. He did the extra work. He put in the extra time that he needed to, and he was incredibly successful. In fact, he was awarded, I believe it was like a huge, I think it was like $40,000 value award. And for the speech he gave, you can see it on our YouTube channel. Look up Caden Loya. Because he just worked so hard. He wasn't going to let any diagnosis or challenge keep him from doing what he knew he could do. And when you have a family culture that espouses that any human can learn anything and overcome any challenge, and you have a culture at a school that espouses that and empowers the learner to be able to do those extra things that they need to do if they need to do them, then absolutely this is a wonderful fit. Wonderful fit for someone that has some different learning needs. The opportunity for a learner at Acton to have a great deal of flexibility is absolutely here. It doesn't mean that the requirements necessarily change or that we accommodate in the way that a traditional school does, but flexibility to create your own plan, to say what you need, to say what you're willing to do to get to where you need to be, that is all part of this game. In fact, it's one of the most empowering things that we offer is for every learner to learn how to chart their course, to advocate for themselves if they have a need, to pitch. We call it the power of the pitch, to pitch something different or something more or alternate if the standard, what we put in place, isn't serving you and your journey for some reason. That doesn't mean that every pitch is approved or that there aren't several iterations or questions asked, but there is flexibility. So it more comes down to, is someone willing to work? Does someone care about learning? Does someone want to grow? Are they invested enough in their future and have a dream that will help them drive through the challenge of learning? And that's the same for everyone. We all have a challenge of learning. And what do I need to do as an individual to overcome it is going to look different than someone sitting next to me, no matter if either of us have a diagnosis. So there are some heroes that we can't serve very well here, that this environment isn't suited for. And so in our audition, we ask a series of questions to help us get an idea of, if there's some reasons that we don't think we can serve you. And hopefully the audition is put together in a way that helps you as a parent and as a hero know if this is a environment that won't serve you well. The last thing we want to do is have heroes come here and have a negative experience, to not feel successful, to not grow in their character and their skills, both academic and interpersonal. Like, that's really not good for us. That is not what we want. And a lot of times people don't know if this environment will fuel them until they try it. So if you have a child with learning differences, let's just chat some more. Like, we never know. And sometimes just with a simple conversation, you can find out, oh, I actually just don't think that's what I'm looking for my child. Or actually, yeah, I might need to think about things a little differently, especially when it comes to accommodations. But this might be exactly what my child needs. So, as always, you as a parent are the expert on your family. You've been blessed to raise your child, to grow alongside them, and you will know what's best for them. And oftentimes, as a parent, I've come to learn that sometimes what's harder, what's more challenging, puts more responsibility on my children than on anyone else, actually is what's best for them, even though that's a hard change and a hard shift to conceptualize sometimes, as we want to overhelp in our society sometimes at the expense of deeper, more impactful lifelong learning. So hopefully that made sense. Reach out if you have questions. Thanks, Reddit.